just needs more self-carriage in this canter work. Just trotted there through the simple change. Oh, and then lost the balance coming out, unfortunately. So coming down the centre line, the first rider for the Czech Republic, it is Anna Sestakova and Avalanche.
Avalanche and Anna Sestakova from the Czech Republic. Thank you.
So 9 teams coming forward in this team test. Scored 72.768 yesterday. Just wait for the scores to be confirmed.
And here's the result.
Here we have H 63.2, 64.8 and B 64.2. Technical marks there. Quality mark is 75.75%. So a total score of 69.909% for Anna Sestakova and Avalanche for the Czech Republic.
The next team is France with Baptiste Vola-Pellardi.
The next rider in, it is Matteo Borghesi, and he is riding Grace DBG.
Next team, sorry, is Italy. Is Matteo
It's a
Borghesi,
12-year-old mare.
Monica Scotto
They
Di
finished
Carlo,
33rd
Vittoria Bobbi, Matilde Manzato,
in the
and, chef de
team
file Laura
preliminary
Pons,
test
Team Italy. And the
with a
first
score of
rider, Matteo Borghesi.
69.488%.
He's riding Grace DBG.
Last time out in this team competition, they scored 73.45% and finished 3rd. So in now for Italy, it is Matteo Borghesi and Grace DBG. Nice steps in the medium trot. Lovely and parallel here in the leg yield. Good crossing, just losing a little bit of activity towards the end of the leg yield. Good in the give and retake, really nice in the balance. Losing the outside shoulder a little bit in the leg yield there and just dropping the pole slightly. I think if he could keep the horse a little bit more upright in that leg yield, that would have just been a little bit better. It had a little bit too much flexion to the left, and then the right shoulder just popped out. A slightly wide step behind right at the end of the turn on the haunches. Again, I'd just like to see a little bit more activity in the walk. Lovely uphill transition into canter though. Could have gone for the medium canter a little bit more there down the long side. Nice and accurate in the 10-meter loop. Really lovely balance. Just at times coming a little bit short in the neck. Needs to keep that nose out. Again, good there in the canter. Just needs to keep that nose in front of the vertical. Lovely direct transitions. They scored 69.488 in the preliminary B competition. It is Matteo Borghesi and Grace DBG for Italy.
Grace DBG and Matteo Borghesi from France. Oh, sorry, from Italy.
Personal best is 77.4 in this team competition.
And the result, judged at H, 68.4.
We have 68.4 at H, 72.2 at C, and 68.4 at B. Quality marks are here. It is 82.5, so a total score of 76.084. Big improvement there for Matteo, up from 69.488 yesterday, posting a really good score for the Italian team. Next in, we have a rider for Hungary. She's riding as an individual. It is Orzolia Anna Kazena. She's riding Felix, a 13-year-old stallion by Western Wind. Finished 26th in the preliminary B competition with 71.84%. Last time out, they competed in Hagen, was second with 73.625 in this individual. Sorry, in this team test. Getting mixed up with the junior competition this morning. So coming in now, it is for Hungary, Ozola, Anna Gazena, and FEI competing as an individual. Could have had a little bit more push from the hind leg in the medium trot. Good there in the leg yield. Keeping the self-carriage through the give and retake of the reins. Really lovely rhythm here in the trot work. Nice there in the crossing. Just got a little bit short in the neck. A little tentative here in the medium walk. It's more like a collective walk. Losing the activity again coming into this turning of the haunches. Just lost the rhythm a little bit. Needed more activity going into it. Needs to be a little bit careful here in the counter rhythm. Yeah, just sometimes goes into a bit of a 4-beat canter. Slightly early in her placement of the simple change, but some nice transitions. Slightly jogging in the walk. The walk definitely needed to be more relaxed through the simple change, but very nice transitions nonetheless. So finishing off their test, it is Orzola, Anna Karazana and Felix for Hungary. Just competing then as an individual.
Anna, Jana, and Felix
Just needed to be careful of the rhythm, especially there in the canter. Had the tendency to go into a 4-beat canter.
And the result judged at age
Scores coming in now. Technical marks of 68.6 and quality marks of 79.25. So total score of 73.925%.
73.925 in total.
And now we move
Now
on
next
to
team,
the Netherlands.
Netherlands with Sophie Evers, Ali Verstappen, Esmai Niesen and Brits Kickert van der Linde, and the chef d'équipe Imke Schellekens Bartels. Now we're going to see
So into the
Beaumont,
arena.
the
It is Sophie Evers and Beaumont, a 17-year-old mare by United and Focus. They were 20th in the, 7th in the preliminary B competition with 76.792%. Last time out in Gisteren, they won the children's team competition with 75.875%. So the first rider in for the Netherlands is Sophie Evers and Beaumont. Bit of resistance into the halt to start with. It's definitely taking a disliking to something down this end of the arena. Some nice steps in the medium trot. 7s from all of the judges. Just lost a little bit of the flexion around the corner. Just falling a little bit outside, through the outside shoulder. Needs a bit more balance through the leg yield. Yeah, started off nicely in the leg yield and just got a little bit tense. Much more parallel though in that second leg yield. Good activity here in the walk. Could be slightly clearer in the rhythm. Nice activity through the turn on the haunches. Again, just needs to be careful of the rhythm in the walk. Just trotted through the transition Unfortunately, the judges would want to see a more direct transition up into the canter. Nice jump here in the canter work. Again, not quite a direct transition down into the walk. Bit of tension creeping in again at times. There is quite a lot to look at around this arena. Just struggling with those downward transitions, keeping them direct. So coming to the end of this team test, it is Sophie Evers and Beaumont for the Netherlands. And a score of 76.792 in the preliminary B competition. Just a bit unsettled in the arena today. Sophie did a good job of keeping things under control. Just that first centre line really that was affected the most. Next up, we have a rider for Switzerland. It is Melina Schneider and Darjeeling. We just wait a few moments for the quality mark to be confirmed before we can bring you a score for Sophie Evers. Last time out, Melina scored 74.25 for a third place in the children's team competition in Hagen.
Switzerland. And she's
We have a score for Sophie. I'm not quite sure if it's going to bring it up on your screen, but it is a score of 72.150 for Sophie Evers. There it is. Technical marks of 64.8 and a total of 72.150, and into third place.
And the score for Beaumont and Sophie Evers from the Netherlands at H 66.4, at C 63.4, at B 64.6, and at E the quality of the rider 79.5, the total 72.15.
So in now for Switzerland, it is Melina Schneider and Darjeeling. Melina riding as an individual, no team here for Switzerland. Finished 20th in the preliminary B, 72.976%. Nice difference shown in the medium trot. Sevens across the board for the medium trot and the transitions. Really clear difference shown. Could just have a little bit more balance there in the leg yield. Again there, just needs to keep that outside rein into the leg yield. Slightly better balance. Good relaxation in here in the walk. Could have just been a little bit more active through the turn on the haunches. Kept the rhythm really nicely though throughout the walk. Could just be a little bit more uphill in this canter work. Canter just needs a little bit more jump, a bit more push from behind. Yeah, no real walk shown through the simple change. Just trotted and then pretty much picked up canter. Would like much more definition through the simple change. Nice balance through the 10-meter loops. Better transition down. Yeah, much clearer through the simple change that time. So for Switzerland, it is Melina Schneider and Darjeeling riding here as an individual. Scored 72.976 in the preliminary B. Looking like it's going to be a bit higher than that today. Lovely fluency through the test.
And the result, judged at age 69.8,
Results are in technical marks of 77.484. Sorry, technical marks of 69.467 and an overall score of 77.484. Into the lead there for Melina. The next team is Poland. It is Luia Straszkowska, and she rides Harley Zoff, 16-year-old gelding.
Team Poland. And the first
last time out, they competed in Pilistas Falu.
With Harley Zoff, 16-year-old.
They scored 71% for third place in this team test.
And ridden by Livia Szczycewska, representing Poland.
So in now for Poland, Luia Straszkowska and Harley Zoff. A little bit wide behind there in that first halt. Better there in the second half. Was just a little bit hurried in the first half. Lost the balance slightly. Yeah, falling out through the outside shoulder in the leg yield. Just do with a little bit more fluency, but was more upright there in the leg yield. A little unclear in the walk rhythm. Looks a bit tense as well before she heads into that turn on the haunches. Very big. Clear difference shown there in the medium canter. Just losing a little bit of that uphill tendency in the canter work. The horse just getting a little bit short in the neck in the canter work. I'd like to see a bit more self-carriage. Losing the rhythm of the canter a little bit through that half 10 meter loop. losing the rhythm in the walk in the simple change, but lovely direct transitions. Again there, the nose just tucking behind the vertical. So that was our first team rider for Poland, Luia Strzeżkowska and Harley Zoff, 19th in the preliminary B with 73.215. And we have a score. It is technical marks of 65.933 and overall 72.717. A personal best, quality marks of 79.5 for Luia Strzeżkowska and Harley Zoff. Good score there for Poland. Next up, we have a rider for Finland. It is Milka Kovalainen and Damon, a 16-year-old gelding by Dressage Royal, competing as an individual. They finished 24th in the preliminary B with 72.209%. Last time out, they finished 6th in this competition with 72.023%. So in now for Finland, riding as an individual, Milka Kovalainen and Damon. Just needed to lengthen the stride a little bit more there in the medium. The horse was just tucking behind the vertical. A little bit of a head tilt here in the leg yield. Again here, just dropping the pole slightly as she came round into this leg yield. Good steps here in the walk, a really clear walk rhythm. a bit of anticipation there into the canter. Lost a bit of that uphill tendency in the medium canter. Nice upward transition back into the canter. Showed a clear walk. Just lost a little bit of the fluency in the transition coming down. Balance through the 10-meter loop. Wasn't quite direct up into the canter, and some problems here coming back into the trot. So our individual rider for Finland is Milka Kovalainen and Damon. Scored 72.209 in the preliminary B competition.
And Damon for Finland. Thank you.
They've got a personal best of 74.5 in this team test. They are pretty close to that right now. Can they overtake it?
And the score judged at 8.
Scores are in. It is technical marks of 66.733 and a total mark of 73.242 into fourth place.
Final score 73.242. The next team is Sweden with Maya Kinderljong.
So next in, it is the team for Sweden. It is Mia Kinderlong and Rondo, a 20-year-old Hanoverian gelding by Road Diamond. Finished 41st in the preliminary B with 68.209.
She's riding Rondo, a 20-year-old Hanoverian gelding by Road Diamond and De Niro.
Last time out, they scored 70.125 in the individual test. So coming down the centre line now, the first rider for Sweden, it is Maya Kindelung and Rondo. A little bit tight over the back. Just got a bit tense in the corner. Just short of the centre line. Could have just had a bit more balance through that half 20-metre circle. Losing a bit of the impulsion in the trot work. Losing the fluency in the leg yield. Can see the horse just fiddling with the bit. Needs to be very careful in that walk rhythm. Just looking a little bit lateral there. Oh, and just spun. Again, losing the rhythm here in the collective walk. Nice and uphill in the medium canter. Some really nice steps there, covering some good ground. Lovely balance through the 10-metre loop. Oh, that's a shame. She collected and everything was looking very nice and then just fell into the trot. Got a bit too long in the frame and yeah, just couldn't quite get the collection right into the walk from the canter. Got to be careful that she's straight down the long side. So finishing their test for Sweden, Maya Kindlung and Rondo. Good job from this pair. They scored 68.209 in the preliminary B test.
From Sweden, thank you.
Looking better than that today. A real pity about the simple change just fell through the canter into the trot instead of that lovely direct uphill transition into walk that the judges would want to see. Scores coming through now, just waiting on the judges at FEI to give us a confirmed quality mark.
And the score, judge at H, 64.6.
It is technical marks of 63.467 and quality marks of 71.984. And a personal best there for Maya Kinjlung and Rondo for Sweden. So at the moment, we have Italy out in the lead with 76.084. Poland in silver with 72.717 and the Netherlands in third with 72.15. Take just a short break now. We continue at 11 minutes past 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, the prize of Derby horse feed, the FEI Children Team Competition. And we will continue with the next team. That's a team Portugal with Margarida Ramos, Maria Almeida, Guilherme Broega, and Leonor Concalves Coelho. And the chef d'équipe Felipe Canellas Pinto. And here, the next horse, Figo das Figueiras, 13 years old.
Welcome back. After the break, we have the first competitor in for Portugal. It is Margarida Ramos. She is riding Figo das Figueiras, a 13-year-old stallion, Lusitano. They finished 47th in the preliminary B test with 64.649%. Last time out, they scored 67.35 for a 4th place. It's the first rider in for Portugal, Margarida Ramos and Figo das Figueiras. Getting a little bit tight in the neck and rather hurried, losing the rhythm through the medium walk. A little bit quarters trailing in the leg yield. Again, quarters trailing there in the leg yield again. A little bit big there in the turn on the haunches, pivoting slightly, losing the rhythm in the walk. You want to see that really clear 4-beat march. Again, a bit short in the neck here in the canter. Losing the balance through the 10-meter loop. Again, staying behind the vertical here, just needs to push that nose out more. Losing some really valuable marks with the frame here. Good transitions. Again, could push the nose out. So coming down the centre line, the first to go for Portugal. Margarida Ramos and Figo das Figueiras scored 64.649 in the preliminary B, looking like she's going to make an improvement in this team test.
And the score judged at age 62.6.
So technical marks of 62.867% and quality marks of 71.75. So a total of 67.309 and into 9th place for Margarida Ramos.
The next competitor is an individual starter.
So next up, it is Helena Colling, and she is riding Demoiselle CL for Luxembourg, competing here as an individual. Is a 12-year-old mare by Dornick B. They finished 31st in the preliminary B with 69.893%. Is a dressage and jumping athlete. And last time out with this horse finished 8th with 68.4% in Gesteren. That was in June. So down the centre line now, competing for Luxembourg, it is Helena Colling and Demoiselle CL here as an individual. A little bit long in the frame. Unfortunately, just had that break into canter. A couple of 4s and a 5, and that also affected the transition mark. Could have done with a bit more balance in the half circle with the give and retake of the reins. Just losing the rhythm there as she came onto the centre line. Horse just falling through the outside shoulder in the leg yield. If she could just keep the outside rein a little bit more there in the leg yield, it would have helped the balance a bit more. fairly nice activity in the medium walk. Do with a little bit more over track. Again, I'd like to see some more activity in the turn of the haunches, but very correct steps. Just a little bit flat there in the medium canter, could do with a bit more uphill tendency. The canter generally just needs a little bit more engagement from the hind leg. That would just enable the canter to have a little bit more jump and be more uphill. Again, a little bit on the forehand through the canter 10-meter loop. Nice there through the simple change, 7s from all of the judges. Coming down the centre line now for Luxembourg, Helena Colling and Demoiselle CL competing here as an individual.
Demoiselle CL and Helena Colling from Luxembourg. Thank you. Such
a sweet little horse. May even be a pony, I'm not sure on their sizes, but a really, really sweet little horse. Just a little bit flat in the canter. Would have liked to see more uphill tendency there.
And the result, judge at 8,
the results are in technical marks of 65.667 and a total of 70.459, a personal best. That's enough to put them into 8th place. Quality marks of 75.25.
The next team
so that puts
them
into 8th. And now we move on to the home team. It is for Germany, Therese Billig.
Team Germany. And here's the first horse.
Therese is riding Pharaoh Shen. It's a 13-year-old Westphalian gelding by Furstenball. They were second in the preliminary B test with a huge 83.214%. Last time out, they competed in Hagen. They won the preliminary B competition, was 4th in the team with 74.075%. The first competitor for Germany. So in now it is Therese Billig and Pharaoh Shen for Germany. Not quite square into that initial halt. Could have a little bit more engagement there in the medium trot. Better balance there. Was slightly quarters leading for a couple of steps at the beginning, but then great crossing. Just needs to keep the impulsion a little bit more there in the leg yield. Lovely in the walk, really great activity, nice ground cover. Super activity as well through the turn of the haunches. Nice activity through the medium canter, showing clear transitions into and out of. Just could have been a little more uphill for some higher marks. 2 7s and an 8. Beautiful balance through the 10-meter loop. And very nicely ridden through the simple change. Did a great job preparing. Just losing a little bit of the jump in the canter. Super transition. Staying really nice and uphill. So there we have it for Therese Billig and Faro Shen. They are competing for Germany. Second in the preliminary B test with a huge 83.214. What's it going to be today? At the moment, the leading score is 77.484, and that is of Melina Schneider for Switzerland.
And the result, judge at age
The results are in the technical marks are 73.933 and the quality marks 91.75. So a total of 82.842. Another personal best there for Therese Billig and Farah Shen for Germany, putting Germany in the lead in the team standings.
The next horse, Dollar Deluxe MB, 10 years
Next
old.
up, we have an individual rider
Sport horse
for Austria.
Bavaria. It's a mare by Dollar D'Or and Camwell, ridden by Sophie.
It is Sophie Marie Berkman. She rides Dollar Deluxe MB, a 10-year-old mare by Dollar D'Or SB. They were 36th in the preliminary B with 69.203%. Last time out, scored 71.35 for a 5th place in this team competition. So starting their tests as an individual rider, it is Austria's Sophie Marie Berkman and Dollar Deluxe MB. Some nice steps in the medium trot, just losing that uphill tendency a little bit on the forehand. Could have a bit more crossing there in the leg yield. Nice activity in the trot work. Again there, the horse just going onto the forehand around the turn onto the centre line. Just generally needs some more self-carriage in the trot work. Lovely here in the walk. Great activity. Kept the activity that well through the turn on the haunches. Could have just had a little bit more bend through the body. Good steps in the medium canter. Really nice rhythm in the canter. Could just, for the higher marks, be a little bit more uphill. Really nice transitions through the simple change. Oh, a little spook down that short side. I think the photographer just jumped out on him a little bit. I don't think he realised that he was standing down there. Again, a bit on the forehand through that 10-meter loop. So coming down the centre line now, our individual rider from Austria, Sophie Marie Bergmann and a Dollar Deluxe MB.
Dollar Deluxe MB and Sophie Marie Bergmann
Scored 69.203 in the preliminary B test.
Judge at age 67.6.
So scores are in, technical marks of 66.4 and quality marks of 76. So an overall score of 71.2%. That's enough to put them into 9th. We have another individual rider now, and it is one for Turkey. Just running a couple of minutes ahead of schedule.
The next horse is Lowlander, 7 years old, KWPN.
So next in we have for Turkey, Lal Miragurgan and Lowland, a 7-year-old gelding by Bordeaux. They were 12th in the preliminary B with 75.685%. Last time out they competed in Gisteren. Finished second with a score of 73.7 in this team test. So starting now, our individual from Turkey, Lal Miragurgan and Lowland. Not quite straight into that first halter X. A nice straight entry out though. Lovely steps in the medium trot. Great cadence. Just a little unbalanced on the turn at A. Slightly head tilting in the leg yield. Some nice crossing though, and a clear give and retake of the reins. The riders are expected to give the reins for 3 to 4 steps of the trot. Lovely and parallel through the leg yield. Much better in the connection there. Good quality walk steps. Could just be a little steadier in the contact. Really nice activity in this walk. And maintaining that through that turn on the haunches. That is a double coefficient. Nice and uphill into the canter. A clear difference shown in the medium canter. Lovely jump in the canter work. Nice self-carriage. Just at times the nose poking a little bit behind the vertical. Relaxed into the walk. Just would have liked a little bit more jump up into that canter. Lost a bit of the fluency in the transition.
Lowland and Lalmira Gögen from Turkey. Thank you.
Lovely test there from our individual rider Lalmira Gögen and Lowland from Turkey. Yesterday scored 75.685%, but I think it's going to be even better than that today. Really lovely balanced test. It's a very good score.
And the score, judge at age 71.4 at
technical marks of 71.667 and a quality mark of 88.25. So overall 79.959, a PB for Lalmira Gögen and Lowland.
Rank 2.
So into second place. This test really instrumental in qualifying the riders through to the individual on Sunday. So that's why these individual riders, it is so important for them as well as our team members. We have our first rider in now for Spain. It is Jeanette Valmartin, and she rides Zanon.
First horse, is Sanon.
A 17-year-old
17 years
gelding.
old, a gelding by Campagnero and ridden by Jeanette Valver-Martin.
Jeanette competed in the Children's Europeans in 2021 on this horse. Finished individual 18th in the team competition and 19th in the individual. So now for Spain, it is Jeanette Valve-Martin and Zanon. Unfortunately, they were eliminated in the preliminary B. Horse wasn't quite sound, so fingers crossed is looking better today. A little bit hurried in the medium trot. Lovely and parallel through the leg yield. A little bit of a head tilt and still a little bit quick in the tempo of this trot. Just needs to be careful of the balance. And again there, a bit of a head tilt, but some nice crossing steps. Good activity in the medium walk. Could just have a little bit more ground cover and relaxation over the top line. Lost the rhythm a little bit in the turn of the haunches. Good clear difference shown in the medium canter. Sevens for the medium canter and the transitions from the judges. Nice jump here in the canter. Bit early in the simple change. Really lovely jump in this canter into a really nice uphill frame. Super balance in the 10-meter loops. Very well ridden. Again, well ridden. Just lost a little bit of the straightness up into the canter. As they come down the centre line, it is our first rider for the Spanish team, Jeanette Valmartin and Zanon. Really nice work from this pair, especially in the canter. Lovely balance, lovely activity and jump. Just at times was a little bit too hurried in the trot work.
Martin and Zanon from Spain. Thank you.
personal best score of 77.8 in this test, which is incredibly close to that. It is technical marks of 69.467 and quality marks of 85.75, a total of 77.609. That puts her into third place, as well as the Spanish team going into third, with one team left to bring forward their first rider.
Team France with Baptiste.
It is France up next. It is Baptiste Volopaladi, and he rides Geronimo de Massa, a 9-year-old gelding. They finished 45th in the preliminary B test with 67.107.
Derby horse feet. And here's the first horse for France. It's Geronimo de Massa, 9 years old, Lusitano gelding by Maestro and Opus, and ridden by Baptiste.
So Baptiste comes into the arena now, riding Geronimo de Massa. The final team to send out their first rider. Last time out they competed was in Jardy. They scored 68.925 in this children's team test. They're ranked 38th. And as I said a second ago, had a score of 67.107, 45th place in the preliminary B. So in now for France, Baptiste Volopaladi and Geronimo de Massa. Just needs to keep a clearer rhythm in the medium trot. Nice crossing in the leg yield. Just losing a bit of impulsion in the leg yield here. Nice transition into walk. Losing a bit of the activity in the medium walk. Again, you want to see that real marching 4-beat walk. Could have had a clear reflection to the inside of the warp pirouette. Well, it's not warp pirouette, turn on the haunches. Unfortunately, just had a change in the medium canter. Fours from the judges. Just swung the quarters over the centre line there. Needed to keep the straightness, keep the engagement of the hind leg. Again, losing the straightness there as he came back to the track. And again here, really needs to watch the straightness and the balance in the canter. Oh, just came on the wrong line. That's a shame. He's meant to come across at E. Unfortunately, that's marked as an error, of course. Can be quite confusing because on the other rein they do it across that short diagonal. So into the halt there for Baptiste Volapaladi and Geronimo de Massa. Scored 67.107 in the preliminary B test for 45th place. Looking like it's going to be just below that today. It would have been a little bit closer without that error, of course.
And the result, judged at age 61.4.
The results are in technical marks of 62.067 and quality marks 71%. So an overall 66.034 and into 15th place. So that is the first rotation of riders. We start again from the beginning with the second rotation. First rider in for the Czech Republic. And then we'll just take a short break again as we go into our third section of this part one of the team competition for children.
Now we are starting in the second round.
It is Anita Valeranova for the Czech Republic, and she rides Rika.
And Rika, 12 years old.
As a 12-year-old.
By Zagita and ridden by Anita Valerianova.
They scored 68.905 for 38th place in the preliminary B competition. Last time out, they were second in the team competition with 69.650. The first score we had for the Czech Republic was Anna Sesakova. She scored 69.909. And Czech Republic currently sitting in 7th place in the team. So starting their test now. For the Czech Republic, it is Anita Valeranova and Rika. Some nice steps in the medium, could just have a little bit more push from the hind leg. Bit of resistance into the leg yield. Just could do with a little bit more self-carriage at times. A bit of a head tilt there in the leg yield. Almost just escaping through the outside shoulder. Lovely here in the walk. Really nice activity in the medium. Could have a little bit more ground cover for the higher marks, but 7s from all 3 judges. Just dropping the pole a little bit there in the turn on the haunches. Nice uphill transition into the canter. Could have shown a clearer difference in the medium canter. A little bit more ground cover. Just at times falling out of the 3-beat canter rhythm. Good accuracy through the 10-meter loop though. Losing the connection into the uphill transition into canter. Needed to just be a little bit more supple over the back. Not a direct transition into walk, and a bit of tension there up into the canter. So coming down the centre line now, our second rider for the Czech Republic, it is Anita Valeranova and Rika.
Rika and Anita Valerianova from the Czech Republic. Thank you.
The first score for the Czech Republic was 69.909. Looking like this one might be a little bit higher. Technical marks are confirmed. We're just waiting for the quality marks to come through. It is very close to their teammate Anna Sestakova. The results are in. It is technical marks of 64.467 and quality marks of 75.5. So overall 69.984%. So that was the first rider. Sorry. It is the second rider of the first team. So we take a break now before we welcome in the next riders. And by the time we finish today, we would have seen the second rotation for all of the teams.
And,
so
ladies and gentlemen,
the next rider will be back in at 22 minutes past 5. So make sure you join us back then.
We'll come at 5:22. The prize of Derby Horse Feed, the FEI Children Team Competition. And we look on the ranking after the first 16 competitors. In the lead, Faro Shen and Therese Billig from Germany with 82.842. On the run-up spots with 79.959 Lowland and Mira Gügen from Turkey. In third, 77.609, Sanon and Jeanette Martin from Spain. And fourth, Marlina Schneider from Switzerland and Darjeeling with 77.484. And in fifth, with a percentage of 76.084, Grace DBG and Matteo Borghesi from Italy. Prize of Derby Horse Feed, the FEI Children Team Competition. And the last third.
So we
today,
are
the
in
second half
for
of this,
the
team
second
competition
half
will start now.
of this, sorry, the third part of this team competition with the second rotation of riders.
In third in the moment with 76.084. In the lead, Germany, then Spain, Italy, Poland.
We have
and
Germany
the
in
Netherlands
the
in
gold
fifth.
medal position, Spain in
And here's
silver,
the
and
next
Italy
horse,
in
is Flora
third.
del Castello,
And
12
next
years
up,
old,
we
had a
do
very
in
good
fact
mare
have
by first
another
Almost
rider for
and
Italy.
and ridden by Monica
It is
Scotto Di Carlo,
Monica Scotto Di
representing
Carlo.
Italy.
She is riding Flora del Castello. They were 32nd in the preliminary B competition. It's a 12-year-old Hanoverian mare by First Romancier. Last time out, they were fourth in this team test with 72.125. So coming down the centre line for Italy, it is Monica Scotto Di Carlo and Flora del Castello for Italy. Some nice ground cover. Could just have been a little bit clearer in the rhythm of the walk, of the trot, sorry. Just escaping a little bit through the outside shoulder in the leg yield. And again there in the leg yield, dropping the pole and falling out through the outside shoulder. Needs to be much more upright. Nice activity in the medium walk. Again, just dropping the pole in the walk, in the turn on the haunches. Nice and brave in the medium canter. Just needs to watch the balance here in the canter in the 10-meter loop. Slightly downhill into the walk transition in the simple change. Could do with just a little bit more self-carriage in this canter. Again here, just a bit pole deep in the canter. quite direct into the downward transition and walk. A nice test there from Monica Scotto Di Carlo.
Scotto Di Carlo from Italy. Thank you.
Sitting around 64.6, 65% in the technical marks. And it is 64.733 technically, and quality marks of 73.75. So overall 69.242. So that was the second rider to go for the Italian team.
Next house to go is Happy Feet, and 16 years old.
Keeps Italy in third place. Next up, it is a rider for the Netherlands. It is Elif Verstappen, and she rides Happy Feet, a 16-year-old gelding by Tuszynski. They finished 14th in the preliminary B test with 74.911. So in now, it is for the Netherlands, Elif Verstappen and Happy Feet. A nice straight entry. Last time out, they were 7th with 70.6 in this team test. Good crossing in the leg yield. Just at times getting a little bit hurried in the trot. Could be a little bit more steady in the contact. Just at times a little bit of a head tilt creeping in. Nice activity in the walk. Good ground cover. Pretty nice in the turn of the haunches. Could have had a little bit more flexion to the inside and a little anticipation up into the canter. Good ground cover in the medium canter. Really clear difference between the collected canter and the medium. Nice balance here in the 10-meter loop. Super there in the simple change. Very nicely ridden, well placed. .5s from the 3 judges. Lovely direct transitions. Very, very well ridden. So there we have it. It is the test from Elif Verstappen and Happy Feet for the Netherlands. Looking around 70% for the technical marks. We could well have a personal best. Scored 74.911 in the preliminary B. Her teammate scored 72.15 earlier on.
And the result judged at age 69.8 at C, 68.
So technical marks of 69.8 and quality marks of 78%, so a total of 73.900% into 7th place and a personal best. That brings the Netherlands up 1 place into 4th now. It's just ahead of Poland.
Netherlands in the moment in 4th place. The next competitor, an individual rider for Austria.
So next up we have a rider for Austria. It is Anna Brockerberger and Beautiful Day.
Representing Austria.
They scored 74.215 for individual 17th in the preliminary B. So in now for Austria, it is Anna Brockerberger and Beautiful Day for Austria. Nice and uphill through the medium trot. Nice clear transitions as well. They have a personal best score of 77.775. Bit of a head tilt there in the leg yield. Just flexing a little bit too much to the inside. Good self-carriage through the half circle. Could have been a little bit more parallel in that second leg yield. Good activity here in the medium walk. Lovely there in the frame, or just dropping the pole slightly halfway through the turn on the haunches. Slightly pivoted as well. Needs to keep that good 4-beat walk rhythm. Lovely and uphill in the canter. Good jump. Keeping a nice frame through the canter work. Got a little bit long in the transition down into walk. Just tucking behind the vertical on the second half of that 10-meter loop. Again, good transitions through the simple change. A little bit late to come back to the trot. So coming to the end of her test, it is Anna Brackeberger, and a beautiful day for Austria.
Beautiful day, and Anna Bruckberger.
Currently Austria.
From Austria. Thank you.
Ah, she's an individual rider. Sorry, I thought they had a team. So just riding as an individual here for Anna. In the hopes to get through to the individual competition on Sunday.
And result at
so the scores are in. It is technical marks of 68.6 and quality marks of 79%, a total mark there of 73.8, and into 8th place for Anna Brackeberger, and a beautiful day for Austria. An individual rider. We move back to the teams now. And the next rider in is for Poland. They currently sit in 5th place with 72.717. It is Juliana Preisbeiler and Photon, a 10-year-old gelding. They were 44th in the preliminary B test with 67.203. They had a triple win last time out and scored 74.375 in this team competition. It's a Polish bred horse by Clavius. So in now is Juliana Preisbeiler, and she is riding Photon. Lovely steps here in the medium, just a little bit leaning on the hand. Could have been a little bit more uphill for some higher marks. Good crossing there in the leg yield, keeping nice and parallel. Yeah, could have just maintained the self-carriage a little bit more in that half 20-meter circle. Oh dear. Little spook there as she came down the centre line. Well corrected there. Started the leg yield quarters leading because of that spook, and then managed to get the shoulder over. Really big steps here in the medium walk, just losing a little bit of the activity. Yeah, needed to be more active to come into that turn on the haunches. Need to be careful of the rhythm. Oh, and again, tension into that transition. Losing the straightness once they come back from the medium canter. Needed more balance through the 10-meter loop. Slightly better in the balance on this rein. Just losing it a little bit actually as she came round that corner. Much clearer in the walk this time in the simple change. So there we have it for Juliana Prasbala and Photon for Poland.
Photon and Juliana Przybila from Poland. Thank you.
So scored 67.203 in the preliminary B test. Slightly lower than that in the technical marks at the moment. Let's see if the quality mark can boost them up a little bit.
And the score, judge at age.
The score is in. It is technically 65.067 and quality marks of 78.5. So technical total marks of 71.784. That puts them into 13th place. That keeps Poland in 5th place.
15 years old Swedish
Next
warm-blooded
up,
girls
it is
by
Sweden.
Zandegard,
It is
and
Mila
Mila
Blomqvist,
representing Sweden.
and she is riding Sandro, 15-year-old gelding, Swedish warm blood. Was 27th in the preliminary B test with 71.584. Sweden currently sitting in 6th place with 71.984. Last time out, they competed in Hagen, scored 69.1% in this team competition. Five riders to go, all representing teams. So in now for Sweden, Mila Blomqvist and Sandro. Lovely steps in the medium, really nice and uphill, showing a good clear difference. Nice transitions. Just dropping the pole slightly on the short side in that half circle. Quarters just trailing a little bit. Would like to see more crossing behind. Lovely self-carriage. Yeah, better crossing this way. Needs more activity here in the medium walk. I'd like to see a bit more freedom of the shoulder as well in the medium walk. Again, more activity needed in the turn of the haunches. Nice steps in the medium canter. Could be a little bit clearer in the rhythm. Nice balance through the 10-meter loop. Needs more relaxation and freedom of the shoulder in the walk. Oh, that was a shame. But some lovely transitions in the simple change. Those pigeons have been wanting to get involved all day. Just dropping the pulse slightly. Lovely downward transition. Yeah, really nice transitions in the simple change. 2 7.5s and an 8. It's going to be a good score for Miller, Blomqvist and Sandro for Sweden. Sweden currently sitting in 6th place with 71.984.
Sandro and Miller, Blomqvist.
She's got a personal best score of 69.1. So should well and truly beat that today.
And the score.
The score is in. It's technical marks of 70.933 and quality marks of 84.25. So a total score of 77.592 and a new personal best.
And now it's
so that pops Sweden into bronze medal position. Not all of the second riders have been yet, though, in this second rotation. 4 more to go. We have Portugal, Germany, Spain, and France.
Now the 12 years old Lusitano
so in now it is Maria Almeida.
Representing Portugal.
She is riding Gentil, a 12-year-old Lusitano stallion. They were 34th in the preliminary B competition with 69.209%. So in now for Portugal, it is Maria Almeida and Gentil for Portugal. Her personal best is 71.9 in this team competition test. Just needed a little bit more balance in the medium trot slightly uneven behind at times. Just escaping a little bit through the outside shoulder in the leg yield. Better there on the center line. And better through the body. Was a little bit overflexed in the first leg yield. Much better there. Could just have a little bit more crossing. Like to see this walk a bit more relaxed, a bit more supple over the back. Lost the contact a little bit in the turn on the haunches. Could just be a little bit more uphill in this canter work.
And the next horse for the leading team.
So into the arena now for Germany, it is Marie Bernard and for Rock G, an 11-year-old gelding by Franciscus FRH.
And Rock Forever NRW, and ridden by Marie
Germany out in gold medal position with 82.842%. Marie Bernard had 2 wins in Hagen, one in this test with 77.1. Has a personal best of 77.1. Scored 81.685% in the preliminary B for 4th place. Don't forget, Germany completely dominated in the preliminary B and had the top 4. So in now, it is Marie Bernard and 4 Rock G for Germany. Lovely steps, great engagement from the hind leg, tracking up well in the medium trot. Nice crossing, just slightly tilted in the frame. Lovely self-carriage through the half circle, really clearly shown from the rider. Could have a bit more over track here in the medium walk. Again, yeah, just needs to be more active in the turn on the haunches. Little tense out, nearly jogged there. Could have been a little braver in the medium canter. Good balance. 7.5s from all of the judges. Yeah, fairly nice transitions in the simple change. Could have just had a little bit more balance out into the canter. Lovely balance here though through the 10-meter loop. Just dropping the pole a little bit as she came back to M. Nice. Yeah, lovely transition into the walk. And again, just could have had a little better uphill balance up into the canter. So coming down now, finishing their test, it is Marie Bernard 4 Rock G for Germany. Germany out in the lead
from Germany. Thank you.
With a score of 82.842 at the moment. We've got good technical marks, just waiting for the quality mark to come through from the judges at E. But it is going to be another very good score. They scored 81.685 in the preliminary B test. Just 2 riders left to go in this second rider rotation. I think we may have another personal best. Technical marks of 73.667 and quality marks of 89%. A total of 81.334 and personal best into second for Marie Bernard and for Rock G. That keeps Germany out in the lead. So 1 rider for Spain, 1 rider for France left to come. It is Spain first up. It is Jessica Gonzalo Agrela, and she rides Juanito X. It's a 13-year-old stallion. They finished 23rd in the preliminary B test with 72.286%.
Juanito, 13-year-old Pura Raza Española, stallion by Clavijero.
Last time out, they finished 4th in this team competition with 72%. So in for Spain now it is Jessica Gonzalo Agrela and Juanito X. A little bit hurried in the medium trot. Quite a bit of flexion in the leg yield. Fairly nice self-carriage through the give and retake of the reins. Better there in the leg yield. Good activity in the walk. Could be a little bit steadier in the contact. Nice in the turn on the haunches. Kept the activity really well there. Lovely, and uphill into the canter work. A little bit on the forehand in the medium canter. Good in the 10-meter loop. Some really good scores coming through. Could have been more direct into the walk for the simple change. Nice up into the canter though. Yeah, just losing the balance slightly on this 10-meter loop. Much better. Really nice sitting into the walk. So coming down the centre line now, our penultimate rider of the day, Jessica Gonzalo Aguilera and Juanito X for Spain. Our second rider in for the Spanish team. Scored 72.286 in the preliminary B competition.
Jessica Gonzalo Aguilera from Spain. Thank you. And the result,
scores are in. Technical marks of 68.133 and quality marks of 76.25. An overall score of 72.192%. That's into 13th for Jessica Gonzalo Aguilera and Juanito X. So one rider left to go today. It is the second rider for the French team. France currently sitting in 9th place with 66.034. Just a reminder, Germany in gold, Spain in silver, and Sweden currently in bronze.
And the last horse for today.
So in now it is Anna Gurakaga, and she is riding Jessica de Malaret, a 7-year-old gelding by De Niro. They were 42nd in the preliminary B competition with 68.113%. Their personal best in this test is 66.8. So in now for France, it is Anna Gurakaga and Jessica de Malaret. Could just be a little bit more uphill in this trot, just a bit more on the forehand here in the medium trot, and therefore running. I think if she could get him a little bit more on the hind leg, it could be a little bit more uphill, which would get her higher marks. Just needs to be a little bit careful there of the trot rhythm. Yeah, and he's more self-carriage there. You could see the horse really taking that contact down as soon as she gave the rein. More parallel this way, but a bit of a head tilt. Good activity in the medium walk. Could just have a little bit more ground cover. Losing the activity towards the end of the medium walk. It's quite large in the turn on the haunches, and a little jog there early up into the canter. Nice jump in the canter, good activity. Needs to be more uphill. Yeah, just tipping onto the forehand in the transitions. If she could get the weight more on the hind leg, it'd be much easier to ride that simple change. Much better in the simple change. Still could have had a little bit more preparation. But here we have it, the final centre line of the day. It is Anna Gurikaga and Jessica de Malaret. For France, the second rider rotation is now finished for this team competition for the Children European Championships. So we start tomorrow with the third rotation. And a score, technical marks of 62.667%, and quality mark is of 73.75. So a total score of 68.209. So that keeps France in 9th place. We still have Germany out in the lead. They're in gold medal position overnight with 82.842. Spain sitting in second in silver medal position with 77.609, and in bronze is Sweden with 77.592. Italy in fourth with 76.084. The Netherlands in fifth with 73.9. Poland in sixth with 72.717. Portugal in seventh with 70.017. Czech Republic in eighth with 69.984. And France in ninth with 68.209.
Sandro
So that
Engelhardt
is
of
it
Great
for day
from
3.
Sweden.
We start again tomorrow morning at 8:30, and that was with part 2 of the junior
The
individual
team
competition.
ranking
We
after
will
2
be
riders.
giving out the European champion
In the leads,
a gold
Germany
medal
with
tomorrow.
82.842,
Let's wait and see who that's going to be.
second place
Germany
with
out on top in the
77.609,
junior individual
and
as well.
Sweden in
And
third,
Germany lie in gold
77.592.
overnight
Italy
in this
in
children
fourth with
team competition.
76.084, and
This
fifth
competition
with
commences
Netherlands
at
with
3 p.m.
73.9.
tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow we
So
will
that
start
is
at
it from
8:30
me,
with a
Natasha Baker.
prize of Piker CEE.
I hope you've enjoyed all
The
of our
second part
coverage
of the
today. As I said,
FEI
join
Junior
us back
Individual
tomorrow for part 2 of the
and
junior individual and part 2 of this
with the
children's
prize of
team
Derby
competition.
hosted
And tomorrow
FEI
we will be
Children
giving
team.
out
The
2
second part
sets of
will start
medals.
at
So
3
join us
o'clock
back
tomorrow.
8:30 tomorrow morning. Have a great evening. Good night.
Time to say goodbye for today and have a good evening. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.